Welcome back, guys, to my Detroit Tigers Out of the Park series. Today we have episode 12. In today's episode, we are going to be starting our third season of the series. But before we get into that, I wanted to go over a lot of the things that have happened since last episode. So we're starting opening day right now. And so obviously we've simulated the entirety of spring training. We went 16-12, which is pretty good considering we were not a winning team last year. And I know it's only spring training, but at least it's a positive sign. I've also made a lot of moves since then, but first I wanted to go over a few things that caused me to make a few moves. So Casey Mize' injury got way worse. He's going to be out for 14 to 15 months as of right now. So he's going to miss this season, next season even. So we are out of a starting pitcher for a while. Really disappointed here. He's someone I really wanted to be a big piece for us, but he's not going to be with us for a long time now. And then we have an updated top 100 prospects list before the start of the season. Tamar Johnson is still the number one prospect, which is what I'd like to see. Our farm system now, though, is ranked second behind the Chicago Cubs, unfortunately. We now have Tamar Johnson at number 1, Torkelson at 6, and Jack Leiter drops to 72, unfortunately. Torkelson's on our roster this year, so he's not going to be on this list anymore, so I could see us falling way farther back, but I do think Tamar Johnson's going to stay that number 1 overall prospect for a while. He has really good potential, and I'm really glad that we ended up drafting him. But now let's get into the moves we made. I'm going to start with, let's just go to the transaction screen, and then we'll go from there with the moves we made. So let's go to major transactions. And then if we go right here, let's start with the small one, actually. We traded Daniel Norris and Michael King away to the Cubs for Ian Miller, who I'm pretty sure I cut right away. He's not going to be on our roster. He is a free agent, so yeah, we cut him. And we got $8 million cash in return. This was definitely a salary dump deal. We went out, and Michael King is the only guy that was worth anything to me that I got rid of. Daniel Norris was just a contract that we signed, I think at the beginning or at the offseason of our first offseason. We signed him to a 3-year, $3.5 million deal. So that was a waste of money there, but he's now a Cub, and then Michael King is also a Cub, and we had around $11 million gained from that deal. And then if we go down to the big deal I made, right below it, we traded Daniel Cabrera, who's sort of a prospect. He's 24. He's basically where he's going to be. He might turn into something, but I'm going to let them deal with that. And then we traded another similar player, Nick Quintana, 25 years old, 2.5 star overall, 2.5 potential. I didn't like him that much. David McKay was a relief arm for us that was on our major league roster, but I was fine with getting rid of him because we signed so many other relief arms or we brought in other relief arms this offseason. So he was expendable. And then we gave up, lastly, the biggest piece of this is Joey Wentz. He was a top prospect. He's ranked 69th right now. He looks like a good starting pitching prospect. He was a little hard to let go, but we upgraded him into Luis Castillo right here. I'm really happy that we brought him in. He's not going to be an ace by any means, I don't think, but hopefully he can be at least a 2 for us in our rotation. He's going to be our ace, but he's not an ace in MLB standards, in my opinion. But hopefully he does at least as good as he did in his other seasons. I would like it to be more 2021 than 2022, but even that, he had a decent, about average FIP minus. His ERA plus was not good though, but that's hopefully a bounce back year from him this season. I think it was gonna be it's an up in the air deal. I'm not sure how I feel about it right now, but if Luis Castillo can be a nice arm for us, then I think it's gonna work out for us because I don't see the 3 guys outside of Joey Wentz being a big deal to get rid of. And then lastly, the last move that we made was I wanted to go and get a captain for this team, so I went out and I signed Evan Longoria to a 1-year deal. He's just going to be on our bench instead of Jesus Aguilar, I believe, was the guy I signed for the bench bat. Evan Longoria is taking his place. Aguilar is now in AAA, I believe, or he's on the waivers. That's where he's at. He's going to be in AAA, though, if he's okay with being called down there. If not, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him yet. That's going to do it, though, for all the moves. So I'm going to get straight into opening day and simulate that and then get back to you with the results. So now we actually have an injury. Castillo's day-to-day, so I guess he got hurt on opening day. That's fine. It's only a 4-day injury. let's see. We lost 7-2 to the Cubs. And let's go to the pitching first. Castillo only pitched 2 innings. Not a great line here. He got roughed up enough to where he had to get called out. And then Alex Lang also got roughed up, our long relief guy there. And then Diaz wasn't great. Duvall wasn't great. Munoz was good, but he didn't really have to do much. Yeah, not a good start at all from us. On the batting side, it wasn't even great either. We only got 2 runs, and it wasn't a good day at all. No home runs. A double from Cespedes. Not a good day at all. Really bad opening day. Hopefully it turns around from here. And I'll see you guys probably, I don't even know how far into the season. We'll probably go around 2 months maybe a month. But I'll see you guys then. Alright, we're back on April 26th. We are currently 13-5. We're playing very, very good baseball. But unfortunately, we have some bad news. Luis Castillo is going to be out for 4 months with an injury. And that is not good news because we are on a hot start right now and we're losing our ace here after we already don't have Casey Mize for the entire season. And now we have him out for probably the rest of the season. Maybe he'll get back just a little bit early. But that is not good news. We had to go ahead and we brought back Dennis Santana to our Major League roster to be that 5th starter for us. I thought about bringing in an outside starter, but there wasn't anybody that great that was affordable and cheap that was good enough. And then I also thought about bringing in Jack Leiter to be the 5th starter for us, but I just didn't want to call him up too early. I wanted to wait a little bit longer. So Dennis Santana is going to fill that role temporarily. He's going to have his first start next game, so hopefully that goes good. But I'm really happy with our record, 13-5. And I think it has to do more with our chemistry and our front office staff, and also just in our locker room now. And then we're also just better in general. So I hope we can keep this up. We're first in the American League Central, so I'm really happy with that. I'll see you guys in maybe a month, hopefully. Alright, we're back here on July 1st. We've simulated a lot of the season already. We are currently 45-31. We're 3rd in the American League Central, only 3.5 games back, though, out of first place, and we're 2nd in the wild card behind the 2nd place White Sox in our division. So our division's really close, and we're really doing really good. Everyone in our division, basically, except for the Indians. There's a lot of options on the table right now. I really want to help our starting pitching. I want to get a legit ace for our roster. Right now, LeJay Newsome is our ace, and he should not be our ace. He's pitching very good, but none of these guys are ace material. We lost Castillo for much of the season, and I would love to have a guy to pair with him whenever we do get to the playoffs, and hopefully he's back by then. But for now, we're really lacking here. We're not pitching bad or anything. There's no one that's a face of our rotation, in my opinion. Matt Manning's been really slacking this season. It's his 3rd season now of above 5 ERA, so I'm not really sure what to do with him. I'm not sure if he should be traded or if maybe he just needs another season in AAA or something. I'm not sure what to do there. One part of our team that is really struggling, though, that I think is holding us down is our lineup. If we look at the outfield, they've been doing good. Riley Green he has a 90 OPS plus, which isn't good, but it's also not as bad as the rest of the guys on this team that you'll see. He's hitting 259, 318 on base, 5 home runs, 33 RBIs. If those home runs were up just a little bit more, then he'd be perfect for what we need. Trey Harris, his OPS plus is 96, but he's hitting 279 with a 341 on base, 15 steals, 7 home runs. In my opinion, that's really good from what I expected from him. It's not as good as last year, I don't think, but he's definitely producing what I expected from him this season. Cespedes has been one of the best hitters on our team, if not maybe even the best. He's hitting 306 with a 336 on base. His OPS plus is 117. He has 10 home runs, 44 RBIs, 4 triples. He's been really good for us. So our outfield, I think, is set. There's nothing I really want to mess with there. And if we go to shortstop, Mondesi here, he's been playing really good. 26 steals, a team high there. 282 on batting average, 303 on base. His OPS plus is 97 though. He He only has 8 home runs and 28 RBIs, which is not very good, but he is leading off, so the RBIs aren't supposed to be there, but I would like the home runs a little bit higher. Sano's done basically exactly what I expected. His OPS plus is higher than I thought it would be at 108. He's hitting 236 with a 327 on base. He has 20 home runs and 49 RBIs. I really like those numbers from him. That's exactly what I expected out of our DH there. Austin Riley's also been doing pretty good as well. He has a 104 OPS plus, 242 batting average, 307 on base. He hit 16 home runs so far and 36 RBIs. I'm really happy with those numbers. Obviously, they could be better, but I'm happy with what he's producing for us. Torkelson's been day-to-day like a few times this season for a week or more, so he's not really been in the lineup as much as the rest of the guys, but he's been underproducing. He's doing good on the home runs with 11, but he only has 21 RBIs. He's hitting 200 with a 331 on base, and he has an OPS plus of 89, which isn't great. And then here's where we're really, really lacking is these two positions right here, catcher and first base. Evan White is not really underperforming in my opinion. It's not like I expected him to do that great. I expected a little bit more home runs from him because he has more power than just contact, but 222 average, 322 on base. He has an OPS plus of 72, which is really bad. Only 5 home runs, 28 RBIs is not great. He's hitting 8th, though, in most lineups. I'm pretty sure in every lineup he's hitting 8th, yeah. So he might not have the opportunities maybe for the RBIs as much, but I do expect him to hit just a little bit better, more towards Austin Riley and Sano type of numbers where it's more home runs and the average can stick at where it's at. And in the catching position, at first, Ivan Herrera was starting and he was not doing good. He was putting up these numbers pretty much. And then Cal off the bench and spot starts was hitting really well, so I forced him to start. It was going good for a while, and then he fell off. Now he's hitting 227 with a 280 on base and a 79 OPS plus with 7 home runs and 27 RBIs. He's been stuck at 7 home runs for a long time. Ivan Herrera's been stuck at 3 home runs for a long time, so we're really lacking in the catching position right now. And that's also one place that I've really considered upgrading. I have a trade already lined up. I just don't know if I should pull the trigger on it. It's with the San Francisco Giants, who are rebuilding, for Joey Bart. If we look here, his personality class is captain. He has great personality traits here. He looks like he'd be a really good locker room guy. I don't know if his statistics would be necessarily great. He's hitting 244 with a 338 on base. His OPS plus is 109 though, which is what I like to see. He has 9 doubles, 9 home runs, 31 RBIs. He walks at a good percentage, almost 10%. His WRC plus is 111. He has a 1.6 WAR. I'm really tempted to go out and get him because we need a captain for our future anyway. Ivan Herrera has been underperforming. They're both relatively young. There's a 3-year difference. Joey Bart has, I believe, 3 years of arbitration left after this year. Ivan Herrera is obviously locked up for 10 years, but he has that player opt-out after that 5th year. So it's really like weighing whether or not I think Ivan Herrera is a piece for us long-term. I'm really, really considering doing this deal. We also get $9.8 million in cash, which is always helpful to have cash. That's one thing, and I've also tried trading for an ace, like I said earlier, but there's nobody on the market that we can afford at this moment. I've tried trading for Tyler Glasnow. I can't even remember. I've tried trading for basically every single pitcher available. I've tried trading for Shane Bieber. They have no interest in getting rid of him. There is just no one out here that is available for us. So I don't see us upgrading that anytime soon. I'll go over real fast the injury list. So Castillo now has 2 months left. So that puts him right about the playoffs, hopefully. Casey Mize is definitely not coming back, obviously. And then one last person I wanted to go over real fast was Tamar Johnson here. He's already at 2.5 stars, and he's only 19. He is definitely worthy of that top prospect spot in all of baseball. He hasn't been performing, though, in AA or A+ ball. He's only hitting 239 in AA, 250 in A+. He only has 1 home run across both of them. He's not really been putting up the stats that I would like to see, but he looks like he's going to be something really special. and I'm really excited to call him up next season, hopefully. If not, even this season, we'll see how he performs. But yeah, the catching position, I think I am going to pull the trigger on that because we're still going to have Cal here as our secondary catcher, which is good. He might be a trading piece if a pitcher becomes available. We can take a look at the trading block real fast. There's literally no one available except for Matt Chapman that I would even consider trading for, and he has a big contract that I can't afford to trade for right now. I considered Chris Archer here as a starting pitcher, but it's just not enough of an upgrade for me to go out and give up anything for. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to make that trade with the Giants for Ivan Herrera for Joey Bart and $9.8 million in cash. We're going to go ahead and complete this. The fans are really happy that Joey Bart's here. The players appreciate us bringing him in. I'm really happy with it. I'm hoping that it works out in the long term, giving up Ivan Herrera, because he is a very high prospect, or a very talented prospect. I just hope it works out. Joey Bart's now going to come in and bat 7th for us, and that's going to do it for right now. I think I'm going to continue this episode until we get to the trade deadline, and then I'll end the episode there. So I'll be back when we're probably at the draft next. Yeah, I'll be back when we're at the draft. All right, here we are. We just finished the draft. These are our 2023 draft picks. Our first round pick was Zion Rose, a catching prospect. He has 5-star potential. Half-star overall is what his current overall is. He looks like he's going to be a decent catcher. I don't love him as a prospect. There was no one I loved with our first-round pick. There was not really anybody I loved in this draft, period. He's probably going to be someone I flip later for some other player that will help us. I don't really see him as a long-term option. Carter Young here was probably the pick I was most excited about. He's a 22-year-old shortstop. He's already very good. He has a little bit of room to improve. I think he could be a really good middle infielder, just infielder backup in general. He looks like he has good personality ratings. He has good speed. He looks like he's going to be a very good player that I like to have on our bench, which I'm fine with. I like that, even if it's from our second-round pick. And then our third-round pick is Michael Brown here. He looks like he's going to be very similar to Xavier from last year, where he's just a power bat that could be a DH hopefully one day. He doesn't look that great or anything, but there wasn't too much in this draft class that I liked. Riley here, he looks like he's a decent starting pitching option. He has 4 pitches that are decent. He has decent every other rating here for a pitcher. He's not anything special. I think he's just going to sit in AAA probably for a lot of his career, maybe come up for a few starts. Tucker Flint, a lot of these guys are older. Hopefully some of them will be able to help us sooner rather than later. He has good power. He has a good bat. He's a decent outfielder. He was just someone I really brought in just in case. We just need more of those depth options in the minor league system that I'm okay with calling up. Caswell Smith here was just another starting pitching guy that I liked. He throws hard, which is what I also liked. He's already kind of good. He has a little bit of room to improve. He doesn't even have a fastball, which is interesting, his sinker, slider, and changeup. So that's kind of interesting as well. He just looked decent. Also, he went to the College of Charleston, which is cool, as I am from Charleston, so that's just another cool thing that I like to see. Beyond that, I think after this, I just let the draft take over because there was no one I was really too interested in. All of these guys aren't that great. I'm definitely going to try and bring in these top guys, and I'm going to be back probably the next day that I sim because I'm also working on a trade currently, and hopefully I will have an update on who I decide to negotiate with and who I decide not to negotiate with. Alright, here we are the next day, July 12th. These are the guys I've decided to offer contracts to. We offered everyone the demands that they wanted. The only guys we decided not to offer anything to is Cutter Clausen. We didn't offer anything to Josh Dima and Riker Chavis. So these guys, there were many reasons I didn't offer. So this guy right here, he just doesn't look like he's going to be anything great. He's 22. He has decent pitches, but his movement and his stuff aren't going to be great. His control's not even going to be that much above average. So there's nothing I really like out of him, and he's already 22. I don't see him getting that much better or even being a decent minor league pitcher for us. Josh Dima, very similar. Doesn't even have the good potential for any of his stuff, movement or control. He doesn't pitch hard. His pitches aren't even going to be amazing at their peak, so I just didn't even decide to do that. And then Riker Chavis was a very similar one there. Yeah, he's younger. He's 19. He just turned 19 a month ago. But I didn't really like him that much. There just doesn't seem like there's anything here that I can even work with. So there's no point in me bringing him in. We did offer every single other player, though, what they wanted. And hopefully we can bring them in and they'll accept what we offered. Now I want to get into, though, the big trades and big trade that we made. First of all, we made a deal with the Brewers. We brought in Brandon Woodruff. He's going to be a new ace, quote-unquote, for us. He has really good stuff, and I think he's going to do really good for us. His ERA is a little high this year at 5.08, but his FIP is 3.86, so I'm hoping he can bring that ERA down closer to his FIP. He has good strikeouts per innings pitched, 97 to 83 innings, which I like there. He has good personality traits. I like that. He looks like he's going to be a really good arm for us. And what we had to give up, though, was kind of a lot. We gave up Cal Raleigh. He's a backup catcher at this point for us. I really liked him. We brought him in early in the series, but he's gone now. He wasn't having an amazing season this year. It started out hot, and then it fell off a lot. He's already 26. We already have a 26-year-old catcher that's better than him in Bart. And then we also gave up another guy that's been here since basically day one for us on our Major League roster, Will Vest. He was sitting in AAA, though, a lot of the year. He was pitching good in AAA, actually, but we just don't have the room on our roster. We have such a good bullpen. We don't need necessarily the depth in the bullpen department for us, so I was fine with getting rid of him. It was a little difficult, but he had to go to get this deal done. And then the last big piece was Tyler Alexander. He's just a starting pitcher in AAA. I don't see him ever getting called up, so I was fine with letting him go. And then a throw-in to make the deal work was Steven Brault. He's not good. He's bad, honestly. He's 31, half-star overall, doesn't even pitch good in the league he plays in, so I was fine with just throwing him in there. So we get Brandon Woodruff, though, in this trade. Our fans were not happy to see Cal go, but then they were happy that we acquired Woodruff, so it kind of worked itself out there. I'm really happy with it. And then next, I was just taking a look at the trading block. So here I went to the trading block, and then I started just going through it. I noticed Aroldis Chapman was there. I noticed a lot of other relievers were here, but Aroldis Chapman really interests me because I almost brought him in the offseason as a free agent. So I just wanted to see what they would give up for him or what they were willing to take for him. And it actually wasn't anything bad. This is the trade I came up with. They are willing to pay for his entire $15 million contract, which expires at the end of this year, which I'm happy with because I do not like his personality traits. I don't like anything about that, but for half of a season, basically, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And we're giving up one of our draft picks from, I don't remember which draft it was, but it was the 2021 draft. He was our 4th-round pick. He doesn't look great, really. He has some potential still. I think he could throw pretty hard one day. He's just going to be a bullpen piece, though. I don't think he's ever going to develop that stamina to where he can be a starter. So I'm fine with it. I was high on him sort of when I drafted him, but I'm easily going to let him go here in order to get a free Aroldis Chapman this season. So we're going to go ahead and complete that trade. And it also gives us another lefty in the bullpen for us to work with here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the waivers here, and we're going to bring Woodruff and Chapman onto the roster. I do have to send someone down. We're going to send down, Tyler Johnson's going to get sent down to AAA, and then we're going to send Aroldis to the Major League roster. And we're going to reorganize this. So now it's going to be Edwin Diaz as our closer. Oh, wait, we got to fix the starting rotation. There we go. All right, so now we have Edwin Diaz as our closer. Hernandez and Martinez are our setup. And then we have Brian Garcia, Aaron Fletcher, and Munoz as our middle relief. Duvall, Lang, and this is really messed up. Okay, I got to send down a starter. I forgot about that. So we're going to actually have to send down, I think we're going to send down Matt Manning and give him some time over there. Now we're going to fix the rotations. Now it's Woodruff, Newsom, Toussaint, Santana, and Herman. And then closers, Diaz, setups, Hernandez, and Martinez. And then we have Brian Garcia, Aaron Fletcher and Munoz as our middle relief, Duvall and Lang as our long relief, and Chapman as our lefty specialist. There's probably one too many pitchers in this bullpen, but that's just because we're currently having injury problems. We have Austin Riley's on the IL just for a few days, though. Same with Evan Longoria. Kyle Doy is also on here for just a little bit. They all should be back soon, but once that comes back, I'm probably going to send down either Duvall or that's probably who it's going to be. It's probably going to be Duvall gets sent down, and then we'll bring back Longoria or Austin Riley or whoever we decide to bring back to the batting side of things in our lineup. But that's going to do it for the trades right now, and I'll probably be back maybe once everyone agrees or something happens with our draftees or we get close to the trade deadline and we might want to make another move. Alright, here we are on July 17th. I just wanted to go over a few updates real fast. So right after we made the last trade, I went out and I signed Austin Hedges as a backup catcher for us. He has really good defense. He has the captain personality class, and he has really good personality traits. So I thought he'd be a good bench player for us. So I was really happy to bring him in as a backup. And then we have the All-Star games announced. We actually have a lot of All-Stars on this team. So LeJay Newsome is our starting pitcher who made the All-Star team. He has a 2.82 ERA. He's 9-3 record. He's pitched really well this season. And then we have two bullpen arms for us in the All-Star game. So we have Hernandez and we have Edwin Diaz here. Both of them are having amazing seasons. And then we also have Mondesi at shortstop as pretty sure that's the third shortstop that made it on the All-Star team. And then we have Cespedes in right field. I'm really happy with the season he's having. He's having an amazing season. I'm so happy that he made it. And then we have two former Detroit Tigers that are in the All-Star game. So we have for the Pittsburgh Pirates, we have Nomar Mazara, who is an All-Star. And then we also have Willie Castro as an All-Star shortstop. He's someone I really regret letting go. He's batting .319 with 13 home runs on the season. He's having an amazing season. Really wish he was here with us, but at least we have, our new shortstop, Mondesi, is also an All-Star, so at least it's not too bad. In the prospects game, we have, I believe, three guys we have right here. We have Jim Little. He's a closing pitcher. I'm pretty sure he's just a bullpen arm. He's 75 stamina, though, so I don't know what's going on here. He was a draft pick, though, a while ago for us in 2022. And then we also have Tamar Johnson, obviously, in this. He's not having an amazing season, but he is one of the top prospects. And then we have Drew Waters, who is having a good season. He has 10 home runs. He's batting .281 with a .346 on base. He's actually playing pretty good. So those are the three guys we have there. On the actual Major League side of the ball, though, we have a new injury update. We have Riley Green going down for 6 weeks, unfortunately. But there could be something good out of this. I am now switching Spencer Torkelson from second base to his natural position in left field. He's currently batting .193 with 12 home runs. He's not having a good year. Hopefully the position change to a more comfortable position will help him bat better. I'm hoping that's how it works. We do have Austin Riley back from the IL. And then we're starting Tyler Frank now at second base, the guy we picked up in the Rule 5 draft. He's actually not had a bad season. He provides a lot of versatility, so he'll fill in at second base for us for now. And that's what our team's looking like. We're currently 52-40. I believe we're third right now. We're half game back from second, though, in the Central Division. We're third in the wild card now as well, but like I said, half game back from first in that. So we're right there. We're still, I think, one more move, or maybe we're just missing Luis Castillo. Maybe that's the last thing we need to be a really good team. And he'll be back soon, too, in like 7 weeks, I believe, or 6 weeks. But I just wanted to update you guys real fast. I think we're going to simulate to the trade deadline and or the next trade, and I'll see you guys then. All right, here we are, July 29th. We're days away from the trade deadline, and we have a very interesting situation going down. So if you take a look in our division here, we have 4 teams still competing, mainly for that second place spot. There's 3 of us competing. We're all 5 or 5.5 games back from the Minnesota Twins, who are in first place. But we're here. We're tied with the White Sox in games back, and then the Royals are 5.5 instead of 5. So all very close here. But in order to compete with the Twins, we have to make a move right now because they went out and they traded for Matt Chapman to be their third baseman. A big splash for them. They gave up sort of a lot. They gave up a 24-year-old second baseman who looks decent. They gave up, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Alexander here. He's 20 years old. He looks a decent prospect. Keegan Allen here, he doesn't look great, but that's another prospect. And they also gave up Alex, who isn't that great either. They didn't give up that much, which is weird because I offered way more than that, or I tried to offer way more than that for Matt Chapman, so I don't know what happened there. But they went out and they made a big splash on him. And in order to try and keep up with them, even though we're already behind them, I want to make a splash too. Our lineup is not doing good. Let's take a look at some of the rankings real fast. On the pitching side of the ball, we're good. We're pretty high in a lot of the pitching stats. Runs against, we're 6th. Starter ERA, we're 7th. Bullpen ERA, we're 2nd. FIP, we're 4th. Pitching WAR, we're 3rd. Strikeouts, we're 1st. We're pretty good on the pitching side of the ball. It's the offensive side. We're 10th, 12th, 10th, 12th, 11th, 13th, 9th. Stolen bases is the only one that we're good at on the offensive side of the ball. We're 1st in stolen bases. We're just not that great on the offensive side of the ball, so we need some more help there. I think I've been wanting to get a superstar there, but there's just no one available. We have shortstop locked down. Our outfield's pretty much locked down. The positions I'm really looking at are 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We also have our catcher locked down for now. I don't want to try and work on anything with Joey Bart here. He's just going to stay there. I don't know. I've worked out a trade already for who I'm going to bring in, but I just don't know if it's worth doing. We have Austin Riley here hitting .246 with a .312 on base. He has 16 home runs. I think I want to keep him on the team as the third base or as an infielder for us. I just don't know where yet. Evan White's probably the odd man out here. He's just not been good. A 62 OPS plus. He might need to see some more time in AAA just for a little bit to get his fire back. But now I'm going to show you guys the trade I've worked out for our star on the offensive side of the ball. We are going to be going to a team I've tried making trades with so many times in this series, but have never been able to actually pull through with one. We are going to go through a trade with the Cleveland Indians for Jose Ramirez, 30-year-old third baseman who is probably going to play third base for us. And then we're going to move Austin over to first base, or we're going to move Sano over to first base. I'm not sure what we're going to do at first base yet, but this is going to be our third baseman. He has really good stats on the year. He's hitting, I believe, 275, 376 on base. He has 16 home runs, 54 RBIs. His OPS plus is 129. He's playing really well. He is going to be a one-year rental, though, unless we can bring him back for a decent deal. I don't know if that's really going to be likely, though. He's probably going to want a big contract that we can't afford. So he's at least going to be on this team for one more year. We're going to try and bring him back next year, but if that doesn't work out, then that's fine. We are giving up kind of a lot, though. I'm not sure if this is going to be worth it at the end of the day, but we're giving up Drew Waters, who was a big part of that Atlanta Braves deal. I think that was back in season 1. He's having a good year, so I decided to try and get rid of him now. He's hitting .271 in AAA with a 329 on base, 10 home runs, 16 doubles, 3 triples, 29 RBIs. He's playing pretty good in AAA. I just don't see him ever being ready for the majors. I mean, he has good gap power right now, decent home run and contact. He's 24. He could be really good. It could be a waste to get rid of him. We're also giving up Matt Manning, a really good starting pitching player for us. He's been here since season 1. He was a big part of the start of the rebuild, but he's just not been performing good. He had a 5.37 ERA the first year, 6.36 the next year, and then this year 6.12. And then even in AAA, he's pitching 4.15. He's just not been great at all for us at any point in this entire rebuild. And now that we're starting to win, I just think it's time to let go of him and not try and keep him around too long and make him work out. The next player we're giving up is Alex Fuedo. He's just been another one of those AAA prospects that's been with us for a while. He's pitching really well in AAA this year. 3.48 ERA. His FIP is 2.83. He has a good amount of strikeouts to innings pitched. I really like that. He was a big piece of this trade to just throw in there. They really wanted him, it seemed like. And then they also wanted another guy, Xavier Isaac, who I'm a little disappointed to get rid of. He looks like he's going to be a good DH type guy in this league. I'm fine with getting rid of him because we have plenty of those guys. There's always going to be guys like that available for cheap probably, so I'm not too worried about getting rid of him. He did win the AAA Home Run Derby, though, this year, which is a cool little fact there. But, yeah, he's in this trade. And then Connor here, he's not anything special. He's 20 years old. He's half-star overall, 1.5 potential. Nothing special from him. He's just sort of a throw-in that they wanted. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to complete this trade. This could be a bad trade at the end of the day, but I'm thinking it's going to be a good trade. I think we're going to make the playoffs this year with Jose Ramirez on our roster. Hopefully we can bring him back, and then this trade doesn't bite us in the butt later. We're going to go ahead and move him to our roster. We actually have to, we have to send down Evan White real fast. He's going to be on the AAA roster for now. Jose Ramirez is getting called up. And I want to see what our new manager has to say. So he wants to put Sano at first base. I'm fine with that. Sano can play first base very good. I'm fine with that. So now it's looking like, our lineup's looking like Mondesi leading off, then Trey Harris second. Jose Ramirez is actually playing DH in that 3 slot in the batting lineup. Then it's Sano at first, Torkelson in left, Austin Riley in third, Joey Bart at catcher, Cespedes in right, and Frank at second base. Once we get Riley Green back, we are going to have to mess with the positions a little bit. I think he's probably going to go back to left field, and we're going to put Torkelson in at second, depending on how he performs while he's out. If he performs well in left field and his batting numbers go up, then maybe we'll work something else out. But for now, our lineup is pretty much set here. I think that's the last trade we're going to make of the trade deadline. The only one I could see is trading for another pitcher, but there's just none out there that are available to trade for. So I'll probably see you guys the day after the trade deadline, and I'll probably be ending the episode there. We're here on August 1st. We decided not to make any more moves before the trade deadline ended. Today, though, was a big episode. We went out and we traded for a lot of big pieces. Brandon Woodruff. We also went out and we got Aroldis Chapman. We got Joey Bart. We got Jose Ramirez. We went out and really added a lot to our team that I really, really like the additions. We're a winning team now, 58-45 at the end of this episode. Hopefully next episode is going to be the playoffs, our first playoff game. It's probably going to be a wild card game unless we can get hot and start catching the Twins. We are only 4 games back, so there's still potential for that to happen. But thank you guys for watching this episode. It was a huge episode, so make sure you leave a like. Make sure to subscribe, too, for the next episode where we are going to be playing the playoffs. And I'll see you guys next time.